although Quint does some questionable things throughout the movie, you're still drawn to that character. You kind of feel safe around him. Do you know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about. He's a man of action on that boat. And there's a kind of, he also, I felt, looked like my granddad as well. And so there was a connection there. And when he gets eaten, which every time I watch this film, I still, in my head, I think maybe he'll survive this time. You know what I mean? I never wanted him to die because I think it's one of the most traumatic and horrific deaths in movie history. We said this before when we spoke about An American Werewolf in London, and when Jack gets killed at the start of that film, how he's screaming for his life, because in the 70s and 80s, men didn't die like that. They died heroically. You know what I mean? They carried on with bullet wounds and things like that. You never saw a man screaming in pain. And Quint dying in this film, and then subsequently Jack in American Werewolf in London, really freaked me out because they were grown men in agony, screaming for their life, screaming for help. That moment when he turns round to Brody and he's holding his hands out and screaming at him, and Brody can't do anything about it. But there's so much horror in here because he's in the shark's mouth. That's one thing that's just absolutely horrible. The other thing is that he's got a machete in the side of the shark's head. And I never really noticed this until recently, that he's actually embedded in the side of the shark's head and he's hacking away at it as he's being torn in two. And then obviously vomiting his own gizzards up at the same time as well, which is just horrible. And this movie was a PG. It's the most horrific death scene in movie history, I think. It's so well done. It just leaves you, as a kid, I was traumatized. And it was all that we spoke about at school around that time that people were seeing this film was, Quint spitting up blood everywhere, because I'd never seen anything like that before. Amazing sequence, and one that'll just haunt me forever. It's also the moment where, as he's being dragged underwater, that groan that he lets out. It's like his last breath. As he's pulled under the water. It's just horrible. It really is horrible. And yeah, another reason why I always felt that Robert Shaw should have been up there when it came to awards, because it's just an amazing sequence that he took part in.
I agree with you 100%. And the way you have this paused, the screenshot, it looks like the shark is staring into his eyes.
Yeah, the eyes rolled forward looking.
Yes, looking at him. And I always thought this wasn't about Bruce the shark coming to feed on some swimmers and then move on, territoriality, as they said. I think this is always trying to get Quint in the water for what Quint has done to shark species. This is a vengeful soul. Because you see that Quint is actually a shark hunter. He hates him, doesn't he? He hates him. This is a real Captain Ahab and Moby Dick at this moment. And that part where he tells him, "I'll never put on a life jacket again," and I think he's okay with dying. He knows he's going to die. I'm not putting on a life vest. I'm not doing it. I'd rather die. The way he holds that, that cleaver, that knife, he's going out swinging, isn't he, Darren?
Oh, yeah. He doesn't give up at all.
No.
What a horrible image that is. That could be real. That's just, like I say, there's nothing mechanical looking about that at all. Maybe the little hinge here where the jowls are, but it's just a terrifying image.
What do you think Quint? What do you think Shaw said to when they said they were going to put you in this mouth? Do you think he was okay with it at first?
I'd love to. Honestly, I don't know if there is any interview footage or whether we're going to discover anything on these documentaries or whether there is any B-roll of them doing this sequence at all. There is. I've seen outtakes of him spitting the blood.
Yeah, gets in the eyes and everything.
I would have loved to have seen something of the whole. How long did this scene take to shoot?
How did they get him in there?
How did they get him in there? How did they adjust? Did they have a separate shark that had less teeth underneath that he was lying on? You know, I don't know if I can put the picture up again. There might be some sort of.
Did he get injured while doing it?
Yeah, is there some sort of padding there that we can see? The white stuff in the mouth? I don't know, but yeah, it's. I'd love to know more about the shooting of this sequence and how it was done and how long it took, and you know. I mean, because it must have been a miserable fucking time, because it obviously wasn't done in a matter of, you know, I don't know, an hour. This would have taken a day or two to shoot, I would have thought, and just constantly lying in that water. Freezing cold.
You're saying that you'd rather be in a shark's mouth than on that cruise with the onion sandwiches.
Oh, here we go. So Shamrock says there's an interview of Shaw talking about the death scene. Okay.
Oh, well,
okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
My death, you know, going into the shark's jaws. It's a very unpleasant thing. The goddamn thing weighs about, I don't know how many tons, several tons. And the jaws absolutely come down on me with the hydraulic pressure, you know.
And Shamrock says he's wearing a harness and there was also a stuntman. Okay, so he didn't do the whole thing himself. That looks like Shaw, though, that sequence. Yeah. I'm guessing the shot when he's dragged underwater is a stuntman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think, right?
Hey folks, Darren here. I'm at the end of this video. That was Frank and myself, my co-host over on Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast, just last night when we discussed Jaws on that particular channel. Now, this channel, Mr. Sandsman, is an offshoot of that channel. It's where I go to do all my little geeky things and talk about DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, that kind of stuff. Do little rankings and tier lists, that kind of thing. But TSL is very much alive and well on YouTube. We have close to 9,000 subscribers over there. We've been going around about 5 years. We have around about, I would say around about 800 episodes, if I remember right. I can't remember now, but there's a lot. And if you're a Halloween fan, there's a lot of Halloween stuff over there, a lot of horror stuff, a lot of live episodes, and a lot of episodes that we call the best and worst of. And this clip from our Jaws live episode last night was just a taster of the sort of stuff that you can see on that channel. So if you enjoyed that, then feel free to head over and subscribe to the channel and check out all our content. We've got a hell of a lot of it, we really have. The link is in the description down below. I'll also leave a link on the end card as well to some of our content. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back very soon with some more content. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later. Goodbye.